Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm grand. How are you?
Well, I'm grand as well. We've got a lot of fun stuff we're going to be talking about. It's Labor Day weekend, so a lot of folks have Monday off, which is nice. We're going to be talking about some Labor Day stuff. But first, 70% of college students admit they have secretly used their roommate's toothbrush 3 or more times.
Oh.
That is gross.
Why would you use your roommate's
I don't know.
toothbrush?
This is a recent survey of college students. Now, I got to say this. You and I are married. I've never, ever used your toothbrush.
Huh.
Ever. Have you used mine?
Only to scrub the toilet.
You're kidding, I hope. This is why I have a hidden toothbrush.
You thought the blue tinge was from the toothpaste. It was from the tiny bowl. I'm kidding.
You better be. The average flea can jump an amazing 36 inches without a struggle. That's comparable to a man jumping 555 feet. That's how high a flea can jump. That'd be like a man jumping over the Washington Monument. I mean, that's amazing. So fleas, I got a little more respect for you right now. That's why they have so many markets, hopping from
flea
place
markets.
to place. Yeah,
I see.
See what I did there?
I see what you did.
All right. Got some special stuff going on this weekend. We'll tell you about it in a bit.
John and Heidi.
Today's a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today,
I
John?
thought you'd never ask. Let's talk about the whole darn weekend. Saturday, September the 3rd is Bacon Day, Franchise Appreciation Day, National Buffalo Chicken Wings Day, National Tailgating Day, National Writing Date Day, and Penny Press Day. Sunday, September the 4th, is National Wildlife Day and Newspaper Carrier Day.
I see.
When I was a kid, my friend was a newspaper carrier, but I helped him do the newspaper route all the time, so I kind of got to, live vicariously through him. It was fun. I kind of liked it. And the funny thing is, the route that he had, the one that I did for him, was the same route that, what's the guy's name? The guy that created USA Today. Al Newman?
I don't know. Newhart.
Newhart. There we go. Yeah, I was thinking the other guy's from Mad. That's Alfred Newman.
Okay.
Al Newhart. Yeah. So it was the same paper route. So, started walking the same path he did as a child.
That's super.
Seems that he went a lot further than I did. So, all right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend.
John and Heidi.
Email marketing is affordable and a proven way to grow your business. If it's done right, you can stay in contact with your customers to let them know when you have new things to offer. You stay in control the whole time, too. You decide when the messages are sent, and you decide what is being said. So you're constantly in control of your business image. You can do this, but don't try it on your own. Team up with one of the biggest names in email marketing, Constant Contact. Sign up for a free trial right now at radiosavings.com. Sign up now at radiosavings.com.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. American Pride. This here is interesting. A California gas station owner finds himself in a star-spangled spat. Kelly Corey says he's been flying his 20 American flags above his Shell station in Glendale for 18 years, but was recently hit with a citation for showing too much patriotism.
How can you show too much patriotism?
He was specifically cited for violating a city ordinance that requires a permit to put up more than 6 American flags. Corey faces a $100 fine or
That's
6 months
ridiculous.
in jail. Prosecutors have put the case on hold while the city council takes another look at this law. So why?
That's ridiculous. And how long has he been flying those flags?
18 years?
Yeah, that's freaking insane. I would sue them.
Well, and this is in California, so this does not
there
shock
you go.
me
Yeah.
one bit. But anyway, this was happening out there on the left coast.
Good for him for fighting.
Yeah. Coming up, we've got your brain on drugs. Got a couple of stories to share today. Thanks for listening.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
And this is your brain on drugs. If you're going to drive drunk, don't do it so obvious. According to the Vermont State Police, they charged a New Jersey man with drunken driving after receiving a call about a car being driven backwards on the interstate.
Okay.
They got a report late Friday of a motorist driving erratically and at one point driving in reverse in the southbound lanes.
Wow.
Just south of Montpelier, Vermont. Police caught up with the man. He was 46. They arrested him. Preliminary breath test indicated his blood alcohol content was 3 times the legal limit. So yeah, that's a bad idea. Don't drink and drive, period. But if you're going to drink and drive, don't be that dumb. He just wanted to get caught, didn't he?
It kind of sounds like
Yeah,
it.
that's just stupid. But yeah, like I said, don't drink and drive, period. That's just a bad idea. Never leads to anything good. And I had another story I got to share here, too. Police working an undercover sting operation at a musical festival in Thornville, Ohio, didn't have to work too hard to find anybody selling drugs. There was a dude on the loudspeaker advertising, "I have cocaine for sale."
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
That's hilarious.
They arrested him and said, "Thank you for making our job easy." All right, we've got your moment of duh on the way. That could have been it right there, too. But we have a different one on the way.
John and Heidi.
Here, kitty, 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 kitty. It's our moment of duh, and it includes a tiger. Florida's Jason Wayne Harden was putting up fencing at a carnival when he happened upon a tiger's cage and decided to, communicate with the animal. He decided to do that by sticking his arm inside the cage.
Oh, man.
Yeah. It bit him, severing a tendon in his arm. No surprise. Police say the man was a little drunk at the time. Really? Do you think so? Was the tiger drunk too?
He probably thought he could just pet him.
I'm going to pet this kitty over here.
Yeah.
That's just a bad idea. Coming up, we've got your scoop of the day, and since it is a weekend edition, we get a bonus scoop today as well. We got a lot of fun stuff to talk about. That is all on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
The scoop of the day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now your scoop of the day. When cruising the open road, roll down the windows and feel the breeze. Researchers say when driving in cities or heavy traffic, keep the windows up and turn off the AC or the heater. Do this and you'll slash the amount of toxic particles pouring into your car by about 76%, Heidi. So saying if you're cruising out in the country, breathe that fresh air. If you're in the city, roll them up. Naked Candy Bandit. That's the headline here. It's going to be interesting. Cops are hunting for a nude man who helped up a South Carolina convenience store at gunpoint and escaped with only Reese's peanut butter cups. An employee said the guy was totally nude except for a bandana over his face and a pair of black shoes. Can you describe the man? Yeah, he was naked. Had a bandana on his face though. So, that part I can't describe. Sylvester Stallone was... You got to sneeze? Bless you over there. Sylvester Stallone was recently in the news for dying, but he didn't really die. Did you see this online at all?
No, but I did see a video of him in the car with his daughter.
Yeah.
And he said, "Who would you rather have for a dad, Rambo or Rocky?" And she said, "Rocky." And he goes, "Why?" And she goes, "Rambo's a little intense." And he goes, "Yeah, but don't you think Rambo would be better at keeping the boys away?" She goes, "That's exactly why I'd choose Rocky." He goes, "I have a feeling Rambo's on his way."
Well, Sly Stallone, for whatever reason, people are idiots. They do this. They'll post, rest in peace, and they throw this online. And
yeah, I've seen that many times.
We're all morons, and we share it. Well, this week, supposedly, he died. Well, the good news is he didn't die. He's not dead. Viral reports claim the actor was found dead in his home. It was a hoax, gained steam Thursday. There was a story that was all over the place, and supposedly it was from CNN, but it wasn't. It was just a fake thing. So don't believe what you see on the internet.
Yeah, don't necessarily believe
Only
everything you see or
what
hear.
you hear on the radio.
Even that you can't
we're
always.
Never wrong, Heidi. In Germany, cops got their car stuck on a narrow path while pursuing a moped-riding suspect. Rather than give up, one of the officers jumped on a child's bicycle and chased down the man and caught him and arrested him. So they were cruising their car along. The path got too narrow for the car. There was a kid there on a bike. The officer commandeered the bike and caught the dude on the moped. How would you like to be on a moped and get caught with a police officer on a little kid's bike I'm just
Mopeds
imagining.
don't go all that fast.
I'm just
You can
imagining,
go
like,
as fast
streamers in
as
the
you're
basket
determined to
and
go on a
cha-ching,
bike.
cha-ching.
Oh, I
Yeah.
doubt that's the kind of bike that it
That's
was.
in my mind. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And he had to put his Glock in the basket on the front. Yeah, that's how I see it. Okay, probably not. Hey, about 33% of Americans say they've had a religious or mystical experience. Have you had a religious or mystical
I
experience?
have. Several.
What was yours?
I'm not gonna. It's
You know what I'm
personal.
talking-
I'm not gonna. No.
I've had several as well. I would certainly talk about them, but it looks like we don't have time to get into that. I absolutely, positively believe in miracles because I've seen them happen over and over and over and over. Ford Motor Company has plans to deploy a fully autonomous and driverless riding car by 2021. So they're saying pretty soon you'll be able to just
I just don't
Get a
know
ride
why
in a Ford
we
and you won't have
need
to
that.
drive
Why
it.
is that the innovation that
don't
we're
know.
working on?
so we can text while the car's driving, I suppose. New research suggests that when you're using public restrooms, you should avoid the middle stalls. You should use the ones on the ends because those are the ones that have less germs and people don't use them
I've
as
heard
much.
that. I've always heard the first one.
Yeah, that means most people who enter the bathroom before you probably went to the center stall and avoided the sides. But now, if they just heard it on this program,
They're all using
we're
the
all
end
using other
ones,
So
so-
here's what I do. I just don't use public bathrooms.
I just use whichever one's open because
Listen,
I'm not a germ freak.
Absolutely have to. All right, that's going to do it for your scoop of the day. We've got your bonus scoop on the way.
John and Heidi.
When it comes to politics, quite often you have an opinion, especially for this election. How would you like a platform to let your opinion be heard? PoliticalStorm.com is that platform. It's a website with news from both sides, and you can chime in on any story, and you can add your own stories. You may even be invited to join me on my podcast for a chance to share your opinion whether we agree or not. Sign up today at PoliticalStorm.com. You have a choice, and now you have a voice as well. PoliticalStorm.com.
John and Heidi.
Now your second scoop. That's what I like about the weekend edition. We have all this fun stuff we get to talk about like this. The number of words is growing, Heidi. According to a report in Science magazine, the number of words in the English language has nearly doubled in the last 100 years.
Well, of course.
Yeah, officials say there were 544,000 documented words in 1900. By the year 2000, over 1 million words. So, where are all these words coming from?
Well, new things are invented, so there has to be a word to describe the thing, and there's new slang all the time.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's just spokey. I don't know.
that is not a word.
I'm trying to make something up, and I couldn't think of anything.
That is so
Spokey?
lame.
Not good?
No, I don't think that's probably going to catch on.
Hey, your job is to laugh at whatever I say. that's something we were talking about. Somebody was saying how awesome it is to listen to the John and Heidi show. They're like, I listened to other stations before, and like the people that are in there, they're laughing at stuff that's not funny because, they get paid to laugh at stupid jokes. But I just love listening to you and your wife because she won't laugh at your stupid jokes. I was like, yeah, you know what? I should tell her to do her job. Your job is to laugh at my stupid jokes.
I'm not going to laugh at stupid jokes. I laugh at the ones that deserve a laugh.
Her job is to put me in my place, is what her job is. All right. Hey, if you need your children to have a little more get up and go, a recent study suggests a furry four-pawed pal could be the best way to make them get off the sofa and get away from the TV, because teens from dog-owning families get about 15 minutes a week more moderate to vigorous physical activity than teens who don't have any pets. Doesn't say anything about people who take their cats for a walk. It doesn't have that in there.
Cats don't like to go for walks.
Although I've seen that done. That's kind of funny.
Have you? I've
I
never
have.
seen anybody walking a cat.
I'm not going to say successfully, but I've seen it done. There's a video online. For some reason, cats are freaked out by cucumbers. Have you seen this?
I saw the video.
That is the craziest thing ever. I don't know why that is. Are dogs afraid of cucumbers?
Our dogs aren't afraid of cucumbers.
Have you tried
Miley
this?
likes cucumbers. She'll eat cucumbers.
But I'm asking, have you ever just laid one on the floor and let her
Who
look at
does
it?
that?
I don't know. People did, and they videotaped their cats freaking out when they saw it. So, I don't know.
If somebody came and laid a cucumber by me, I'd probably freak out. I'd be like, what in the world is wrong with you?
All right. Hey, I know we're just starting the month of September, but believe it or not, we should start thinking about New Year's resolutions. Everybody could use a little help keeping those things, right? But if it means the government limiting junk food, the
No.
response is an overwhelming no thank
No.
you. Americans call obesity a national health crisis, and they blame too much screen time and cheap fast food for fueling it. But a new poll finds that people are split on how much the government should do to help. And most draw the line at attempts to force healthier eating. They're saying, maybe you should just stay out of my Twinkie drawer.
They
How's
need to
that sound?
decide, is a person's body their choice or isn't it? I mean, they can't flip-flop and go both ways here on this issue.
Yeah, and the funny
My
thing
body,
is,
my choice, right? So
That's
I
what-
should be able to eat whatever I want to eat.
And the crazy thing is, it seems very much like it's the same people who say that about something else
That's what I'm saying.
are the same ones saying that we should be able to govern.
That's
what
exactly
you eat.
what I'm saying.
So I'm
So
like,
it's
that's
ridiculous.
I don't know.
So
Doesn't
absolutely not. I mean,
seem
unless they're
quite
going to
right.
do the exact same thing on the other issue, I say absolutely not. You stay out of my business.
all right.
Don't get all up in my business.
Are we still talking about junk food here? Or what
We're talking about
I
everything.
just don't know what's going on. Astronauts have a down-to-earth problem that could be even worse on long trips to Mars. They just can't get enough sleep. Over time, the lack of slumber can turn intrepid space travelers into drowsy couch potatoes. A new study shows that they did this novel experiment. 6 volunteers were confined in a cramped mock spaceship in Moscow to simulate a 17-month voyage. It made most of the would-be spacemen, lethargic, much like birds and bears heading into winter, gearing up for hibernation. The men went into a prolonged funk even quicker than the ladies. So what's that all about?
I don't know.
Were you listening to that story?
No, you know what I was thinking?
What were you?
I'm sure it was fascinating, though.
Yeah, well, it was great. It was good stuff.
What I was thinking is Americans are on the verge of revolution already. Anyway, can you imagine where we would be if we closed down every corner McDonald's?
Are you serious? You
Americans
really were not listening to
would
anything. I
lose
said.
their minds. It's
So,
like I wasn't going to go and shoot up the community, but I can't have a Big Mac, so
so seriously, the entire story I just read.
I have no clue what you said. I was just picturing mass panic in my mind, and I couldn't get off of that topic.
This is why I love the John and Heidi Show Weekend Edition. Thanks for listening. We got some fun facts heading your way.
John and Heidi.
This is the world's first and only 7-time lottery game grand prize winner. Since I endorsed Lottolicious, I have won something every single draw. When you join, you'll be giving them the set of numbers that you want them to play, and that's what they will play for you. You don't have to worry about running to the store to buy your tickets. They take care of all that. So if you're looking for the best way to play the lottery, go to RadioLottoPool.com and join today. Again, that's RadioLottoPool.com.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Most snakes have only one lung. In some cases, 2, with one much reduced in size, and it serves to make room for other organs in the highly elongated bodies of snakes. So they only have one lung. That's why very rarely do you see a snake smoking. It's not, and they can't light it because they got arms. So I'm just saying. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
Those shifty lizards are lighting them for him.
Fun fact for you,
What's
Heidi.
that, John?
Alfred Hitchcock did not have a belly button. He was born with one, but then it was eliminated after a surgery.
Oh.
So they sewed him up, and they're like, ooh, we got his belly button laying on the table
I was
over
going
here.
to say, how's that even possible?
Oops. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Female orcas live twice as long as male orcas. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John? What's an orca? That's a whale, right?
I think so. I was
Okay.
just going to move on because I'm not sure. Pretty sure. Maybe it's like a gerbil. I have
Stay
no
in
idea.
school, kids.
The more you know. Bing. And our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Sudan is the largest country in Africa. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, and Sudans are larger than compacts. Just so you know.
Oh, my gosh.
I prepared that one. Didn't quite land well. All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Email marketing is affordable and a proven way to grow your business if it's done right. You can stay in contact with your customers to let them know when you have new things to offer. You stay in control the whole time too. You decide when the messages are sent and you decide what is being said. So you're constantly in control of your business image. You can do this, but don't try it on your own. Team up with one of the biggest names in email marketing, Constant Contact. Sign up for a free trial right now at radiosavings.com. Sign up now at radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend. This one's got to stink. Being allergic to allergies, that would be bad.
Being allergic to allergies?
Well, that too. No, being allergic to technology. That's what I meant. Joan Stock. I think we read a story about this.
Yeah, we did. We have
Is
talked
this the
about
story?
her.
Is
I
this
think
the
it
lady?
is. It's the same lady.
Yeah, she's allergic to microchips. So you know what we're going to do? we're going to just completely skip that story because we have already read that. She's allergic to microchips, and she can't do anything, can't go anywhere near any electronics. That would really stink. But I didn't have a place for this, but since Heidi, I got a place for it now. Take a listen to this. Here's my... What? What?
They should create a male enhancement pill called microchips because it replaces floppy.
Would you just stop? What is wrong with you today?
It's the weekend, and I'm at work, and I shouldn't be.
All right. Here, my previous job, since this is Labor Day weekend, I got some labor. Going to be talking about jobs here.
Okay.
My first job was working at an orange juice factory, but I got canned and couldn't concentrate. Then I worked in the woods as a lumberjack, but I couldn't hack it, so they gave me the axe. After that, I tried to be a tailor, but I just wasn't suited for it, mainly because it was a so-so job. Next, I tried working at a muffler factory, but it was exhausting.
Are you kidding me? You interrupted my comedy
Yeah.
for this?
I wanted to be a barber, but I just couldn't cut it.
Oh, my God.
Then I tried to be a chef. I figured it would add a little spice to my life, but I just didn't have the time. THYME. That probably is not going to translate as well. Finally, I attempted to be a deli worker, but any way I sliced it, I couldn't cut the mustard. My best job was at being a musician, but I finally found myself... I found that I wasn't noteworthy. I studied a long time to be a doctor, but I didn't have any patience. Next job was a shoe factory, but I just couldn't. But it just didn't fit in. Became a professional fisherman, but then I discovered I couldn't live on my net income.
Oh, my gosh.
I managed to get a good job working for a pool maintenance company, but the work was too draining.
Are we about done?
Yeah. Then I got a job at a zoo feeding giraffes, but I was fired because I wasn't up to it. So then I got a job in a gymnasium workout center, but they said I wasn't fit for the job. Next, I found being an electrician interesting, but the work was very shocking. Do you like any of this? Any of these funny? I think it's funny that you don't find it even remotely humorous. After many years of trying to find steady work, I finally got a job as a historian until I realized there was no future in it. My last job was working at Starbucks, but I had to quit because it was always the same old grind. Do you like any of those?
That was...
That was a waste of your time.
That was the most excruciating couple of minutes.
It was only a little over a minute, but there you go. That's what happens when you cut me off and say you don't want to read the stories. I'll get some doozies like that every time now. So now you have to choose your move, Heidi.
All right. There we go.
All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Let's talk business. If you're in business, you need a website. Come on, it's 2016. Do you really think the internet thing is not going to catch on? Many business owners that don't have a website think it's just too expensive. Well, now it's not. You can actually build a website setup for less than $30 a month. If you need help designing it or just laying something out, we're here to help you. Get a free trial right now at radiosavings.com. You can actually build the site and see it online for free during this trial. So why not check it out at radiosavings.com.
Your kid's bedtime doesn't matter just as long as it's the same bedtime every night, according to a new study from Boston.com. They're saying you can go to bed later as long as you always go to bed later.
We don't really have little ones anymore, so
No.
this...
Every time a child's body clock is disrupted, their brain development is disrupted. And this is especially true for 3-year-olds. Of course, the earlier the better. A separate 2-year study found that the earlier kids go to bed, the less likely they will become overweight. So
Really?
that was my problem. My mom and dad didn't make me go to bed. Has nothing to do with all that food I shovel in my face. Thanks, Mom and Dad. All right, coming up, we're going to talk about registering for wedding gifts. This is an interesting story, and it talks about a difference over the last 50 years. Fun stuff to chat about. That's on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
When it comes to politics, quite often you have an opinion, especially for this election. How would you like a platform to let your opinion be heard? PoliticalStorm.com is that platform. It's a website with news from both sides, and you can chime in on any story, and you can add your own stories. You may even be invited to join me on my podcast for a chance to share your opinion, whether we agree or not. Sign up today at PoliticalStorm.com. You have a choice, and now you have a voice as well. PoliticalStorm.com.
John and Heidi.
When registering for your wedding gifts, what gifts are you asking for? A new study shows couples are asking for things that are way more expensive than they were when they, started doing this study 50 years ago.
People are, I've looked at some of the registry lists for people who have registered for things, and it's like, really? You really think that this is what people should be spending on you for? It's insane.
A new study shows couples are asking for more expensive items. Back in 1954, couples would ask for things like basic household items, cotton sheets, pillowcases. Nowadays, they're asking for top-of-the-line cutlery, flashy bathroom scales.
Yeah.
Part of the reason for the change is many people are getting married later in life, and they want to upgrade things that they already have. So they're like, I already have this stuff. I just want nicer stuff. Some people were even asking guests to buy things like giant televisions.
Yeah.
They put that on their registry, and are like, well, put money towards it. If you two or three chip in, you could buy me that.
Well, then just ask for money.
Here's the thing. When we got married, we didn't register anywhere. We're like, you know what? You don't have to give us anything.
Well, it was a second marriage.
But I'm like, you don't need to give me anything. I already got the prize. I got to marry her. So
Oh my gosh, you're so
I don't need anything else.
corny.
I'm just saying. That's true. I don't need anything else. That's all I need. So there you go. We're going to snuggle now. Thanks for listening. Probably not. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
It's the funniest thing you said all morning.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
Hey, if you're planning to ask the boss for a raise, you'll have a better chance if you first feed them a cheese sandwich. Or wait, no, maybe you need to eat the sandwich.
Cheese sandwich?
Let me read this.
How
You'll
weird
have
would
a
that be? You walk
chance-
into your boss and say, here, eat this cheese sandwich, and then I'm going to come back and talk to you.
You're supposed to eat the cheese sandwich. I should really pre-read this stuff.
And who eats a cheese
I shouldn't.
sandwich?
Let me read what it says here. I shouldn't. How many times have I said I'm going to quit reading the headlines? Every time I read a headline, it bites me right in the butt. All right. Researchers say people with high levels of the natural brain chemical serotonin have a better chance of succeeding in delicate negotiations. Cheese is loaded with tryptophan, an amino acid that causes the body to make serotonin. Psychologists at Cambridge University manipulated the levels of serotonin in a study, and the subjects that had that, the ones with lower levels, were more likely to follow their emotions and get hot-headed and aggressive when making important life decisions. Meanwhile, high-leveled serotonin subjects had better levels of serotonin, and they handled things better with emotions and making decisions. So they're saying, if you're going to be doing something where making decisions matters, eat a cheese sandwich. Isn't the tryptophan also in turkey? Maybe you have a turkey and cheese sandwich.
Well, you'd have to have something with the cheese.
When I was a kid, I had cheese sandwiches.
You had just cheese sandwiches.
You ever
I
have
mean, like grilled cheese.
Yeah, let's say it's the same thing. It's grilled cheese, but it's not grilled. So it's, what would you call that? Ungrilled cheese?
It would have to be a grilled cheese sandwich. You wouldn't eat just a cheese sandwich.
I've done it before.
Huh.
Yeah, because here's why. It's not like I went in to do that, but I went in to make a sandwich, and then we were at a lunch meeting. And I was like, well, guess I'm going to have a cheese sandwich. It wasn't bad, honestly, so it's not a bad thing. All right, coming up, we're going to talk about some good news. That is on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
We always try to wrap things up around here with some good news, and I think this is a pretty good story. This one heads from, well, let me read it here. A priest in India donated his kidney to a patient in need, and after that, 15 other clergy members decided, I'm going to do that too. According to ChristianToday.com, Father Davis Carmichael donated his kidney to a poor electrician. To raise awareness of the need for organ donation, Carmichael started the Kidney Federation of India. Since then, 15 other clergy members, including a bishop and a nun, have also donated kidneys to patients in need. This is such a cool thing. We know somebody who donated his kidney to his father. That was Heidi's cousin.
Yep.
And I remember when he did that, I always liked your cousin before that. Because, He's
I have
awesome.
another cousin on the other side of my family that donated his kidney
Are you
to
serious?
his best friend. Yeah. My cousin Dana.
See, I didn't even know that. But your cousin Andy, like from the second I met him, I liked him because he's a wise guy.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, how could you not?
Everybody likes Andy. He's a good guy.
So he and I hit it off right away. But
Just can't talk politics.
But yeah, are you guys friends on Facebook anymore?
No.
See, this is what you used to refer to as your favorite cousin.
He is my favorite cousin.
But you
We
guys
just
get in
can't talk
arguments.
politics.
See what happens with politics, people? This is ridiculous.
He's still my favorite. I love Andy to death.
I
He's
do too.
amazing.
But here's the thing. I got to say, he was already like awesome.
Yeah.
But then when he did this, when he donated his kidney to his dad, I mean, he went to a whole nother level of awesome in my mind. I was like, wow, what a great guy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I want to be when I grow up, even though I'm older than him. So
Here's the thing that worries me about giving one away too soon. What if one of my children needs one?
Yeah, I
and then
know,
I've
I
already
understand.
given it away
I thought
to
it was-
some hobo on the street.
I'm
and
not
I
saying
can't
to give it to a hobo on the street. He
give
gave
it
it to
to
his
my
dad.
kids.
This guy gave it to a person in his church. It was just a cool story. If you want to read it, there's no hobos on the street, but you can read the story at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend.